student, actually I've got many students that play the drums that they refuse to count. I get it, you know, it's not always the easiest thing not counting and trying to play with a band. The one thing that I could tell you is as soon as you start counting all the different rudiments that any teacher talks about, or any one of these channels that does sight reading or talks about how to do a fill or what a basic beat is, they immediately become a little bit easier. And I just wanted to break down one of the concepts on how to play just the basic pattern, the basic beat for one of my students, and I figured I could help a couple other people if they want to. I've played with a lot of drummers, a lot of really fun and tasty drummers too. And what I notice is drummers who know the rudiments and count out loud generally are the drummers that are a lot of fun to play with. So, hey, what's up, Benzie? How goes it? One of the things I'm talking about is, Ben is my name. Wonderful. Being able to play the 4/4 beat. I've got one of my students that I'm trying to get to count and do something like this to feel the pulse of the one. One of the best ways to do it is just to play the quarter notes. And when I'm watching a student do this, how they're holding their sticks is a lot. If a student watches me do this and they're able to do something like this and keep their hands straight and then go down like this, they see the validity of playing rudiments like this to express another beat. And then I watch to see if the kids I'm playing with are adults alike can talk while keeping a rhythm. Most people can't talk and keep a rhythm because most of our syncopations need to be inside the pulse or it gets lost. So one of the best things to do is just to talk. Chuck Biscuit's the great punk drummer. Yeah, Chucky! I've been trying to teach everybody this kind of feeling of the wrist as being one of the foundations of music theory. The other ones are our wrists, our arms, and then when we move our hands, we could do definitely some finger work. Between the arms, the wrists, and then the fingers, that's really where a lot of the rudiments come from. So one of my drummers, I'm trying to get them to do this. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Sometimes when we're thinking in music, it's kind of rather difficult to do it like this, but if you're practicing the practice of practicing, keeping that basic whole note, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then throwing half notes over the top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. These things that we do, we can switch hands, which means we become a little bit ambidextrous. I don't know. I've seen a lot of drummers out there. The ones that have a really, really good perception of what the kit does and how to use it, it's because they play for countless thousands of hours doing one concept. But guess what? Each one of those great drummers did this. Exactly what I'm doing right now. I look like Zach Kraga. Oh, thanks, better guy. Why not subscribe? Watch my other nonsense. So, when using a meter, a metronome, it gives you your pulse. Most would say the three things that quantify what music is would be harmony, pitch, and melodies. There's a lot more to that, but what some fail to see or understand is that when you have a beat like this, hi Jeffrey, how are you? The note, if you were to start speeding that note up, it stops being a pulse because it just fills in all the space or the rest and becomes a tone. Usually it speeds up with frequency, but everything does this. This is just how math works. So there really is no difference between a note on a piano, like a C, that oscillates at 15,000 or an A, 440 oscillations, and then this note. If you were to take just that, record it, and then speed it up so it's not just a single note, but it's like ta, 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 it becomes a tone or a pulse. So the whole idea is when you're going through the process of learning your rudiments, utilizing a metronome to feel the spaces in between is what a drummer does. I try to enforce people to use their wrist work where they keep a flat wrist. So if you were to take your stick and put it up back towards your carpal tunnel and then put it up just a quarter inch further, your arm has a hard time moving forward. The whole idea is to get a single stroke and then feel out two pulses.
So you're doing a single stroke, but you get a double stroke, or dare I say a triplet for the price of one. This is invaluable when going around. A lot of people want to get that speed going on, blast beats, that's fine, but it really just starts from here. Oh, hit that like and subscribe, share this with somebody if you want to. I just want to show this for one of my students. I hope you dig this too if you are an aspiring drummer. And remember, if you don't have a drum kit, you don't need it. Just grab yourself a set of sticks. They're about $5 to $12. I suggest Vic First 5As. Try not to hit the nylon, get wood first. Get yourself a wood surface to play on, or if you have the means, grab a cheap drum set. You don't need the whole drum set either. You could use one piece until you Frankenstein it together. Anyway, here's what it looks like. We're gonna be doing this. 1, 2, ready with the holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Switch hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3. Let's add doing quarter notes. Now we're feeling the pulse. Stretch those glutes. Does anybody remember Richard Simmons? Is he still alive? I remember watching that when I was younger. Buckle your shoes. Whatever you do, buddy, take care of your shoes. Switching back and forth between our hands helps to build stability and counting. You can do it every 2. I like to do it every 4. So if we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It would lead us able to do eighth notes down in strokes like this if we want to in the place of a single stroke, but it would allow us to keep that center beat or pattern going. The next thing I would say is if you could express yourself with a quarter note on one hand and it keeps the pulse of the metronome because you've counted countless hours of 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I would say find the 1 and just count the ands. Do it with your hand. It gives you the feeling of doing a hemiola. Now you just see these as syncopated eighths, but the whole idea is rhythm's not supposed to be completely pulse driven. There's supposed to be some swing, or at least some shuffle to it, or else it's boring. I don't know. I've watched a lot of drummers play with a lot of drummers, and what I could say is most of this, oh, you want a paradiddle? Hey, here you go. Yeah. So when we're doing this, no matter what the rhythm is, you can speed it up. And let's say we are doing a basic beat and you're working with a teacher or the internet and you just learned what a flam is. Today, flam is number 20. What we would do is this. We would put a quick eighth note in before we would do a downstroke with an eighth note with an accent. It looks like this. And then we would switch that and do it with our other hand. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Hear the weak hand? It's a little different. And the whole idea is get those as close as you can to being the same on both hands. And by doing this, you get really good with both hands and both functions. If you can keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, why not influence your rudiment of the day with your rhythm exercise? Now, what I would do is suggest you get yourself a book, O Music. The book of music that I'm currently using, I enjoy it because it lays out a plethora of different rhythm exercises onto which you can choose one line and then another and work back and forth. So if I was going to sight read with a student, I would say, hey, buddy guy, pick 2. Let's do what you gonna do. And they would do, hey, let's do number 1 and 9. And I would say, great, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Going right back up to the top line and doing it again. We have the slow first time through, and since there's a repeat, second time through, you do it faster. Then we go down to line 9, right, 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 left, right, 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 left, right, 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 left, left, right. Then you do it fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, E and a. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Over and over and over. The whole idea, when you practice rudiments like this for 5 minutes every day, it does something to your brain. It does something for your ability to feel the pulse. And then when you move that from this book using an idea like suggested in the comment section, if we do right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, these things help us move around the kit. Here's my basic beat, right? If I put my hand here, I'm now exhibiting that same quarter note, except I've given my other arm the ability to go out and play something around the kit. Here's where our rudiment would work. Since we're going slow, we then could go at this pace, which would be double the time, and we would use it. Here's the use of our flam. If that's our groove, then we speed up. By being able to do it slowly, you could then do it fastly. The whole point of doing this is to use the kit. 1 E and a 2 E. 1 E and. When I move away from these notes and use my right hand for fills, right? I can keep that motion over the top. And this really helps me to kind of move around and accelerate the kit in many different ways. Let's pull out a different kit sound because I'm getting bored of that pearl. What is this? Funny, sounds like the Phil Collins kit. Or some rap beats. All I hear is theirs, well, all I hear is theirs. So, is anybody out there a drummer? Anybody have any questions? Slow down. When doing like 1, 2, 3. Here, let's set that tempo again. Let's do it like 100. Let's say we had like a. can be broken down and then played by putting tempo. L Dude, I've seen L Dude. L Dude is crazy.
My favorite one is where he puts the stick on here, and he's all like smacking it on both sides, and it's going back and forth, going tuck-it, 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 tuck-it.
That's by far superhuman. I love it.
Anywho, I have a student in just a minute. I'm gonna see if we can put another concept out there. Ooh, that's some lowness. There are a couple fun songs on here, but not great songs on this one. Plays with the hoods. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it, man. Dude's on fire. And good for him. practice pad kit like this is to put at least 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day. If you are an aspiring drummer, you just really enjoy the drums. You don't need the drums to be able to do it. I would say check out any of these drumming websites. My favorite by far to practice Rudiments is called Sight Reading Drums. And then there's another great channel by a lady across the pond. Her name is Emmy, I believe, and her friends. It's called Learn to Love Drums. They're both great and wonderful channels to learn, ask questions. If you have the inclination, check out this channel, see the other drum videos. I just try to show basics, and I do stuff like this to show people that, you know, playing with the metronome really changes. If you watch my progress over the last 5, 6, 8, 10 years of playing, it's funny. I had 2 band members when I was younger. They laughed at me. They're like, you know, you're an okay string player, but you're probably a drummer. And then they both laughed and they're like, you have no rhythm. And it's taken quite a while to work on getting perfect rhythm. I've devised my own way to understand music in a certain way, and then I wrapped it back with music theory. So long story short, I enjoy the process of learning. It's always a challenge for myself as well, but rhythm, doing it 5 minutes a day really makes a difference. If you have questions, put them in the comment section. Otherwise, thanks for being here. Aloha.